County, Jamaica. We broadcast on FM 96.7 locally and is heard worldwide on fitfmja.com. Our mission is to amplify diverse voices and opinions, inform, educate, entertain, and engage listeners of all ages and lifestyle while promoting responsible community development. Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music.
Are you struggling with loneliness? Feeling depressed? Are you searching for a purpose to live? Are you ready to tap into your inner greatness? Ready to soar to your full potential? Come and be inspired. Join me, Dr. Asha Mwendo, on Healing Moment inside Gospel and Soul every Wednesday, 6 p.m., where we will help you to understand your purpose. We will help you to find your wind. We'll show you how to open your wings and fly. Healing Moments, Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. Good evening. How are we this evening? Guess what? It's your girl, Dr. Asha Mwendo, and you're listening to Healing Moments on Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. So this evening, we are going to have a good conversation lined up for you. And remember, I like when you participate or participate, whichever one you want to say, I am good for it. So as you come on and you're listening to us, you know the drill already. I want you to join us on our Fit FM 96.7 page on all our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube. I want to big up all of you guys listening in. And remember, live streaming on fitfmja.com. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can send us a voice message or typed message on our WhatsApp line at 876-482-4944. So remember, no, it's our WhatsApp line at 876-482-4944. Join the conversation, send in your messages and your questions. And as usual, I want to remind you that Healing Moments is still calling for the elimination of violence against our women and our girls. We need to get it right. And so this evening, I will have some wonderful guests for you. But before my guests come on, you know the drill already. You're going to get your pen, tell a friend, get your sip, listen to this, and come right back.
Love is but a song we'll sing. He is the way we die. You can make the mountains ring or make angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Yeah, come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Some will come and some will go, and we shall shall surely pass. Oh, yeah. When the one that left us here returns for us at last. Oh, yeah, yeah. We are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Hey, yeah. Oh, come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Oh, yeah. Wanna grab all of your friends, look at the deal and the history of America. In this situation, must forward in this generation. Seek the truth in your heart and your mind. Do what's right and you shall find. There's a universal family. My brothers and my sisters. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Right now. Right now. Yeah. Get together. You gotta get it. Get it. Oh. Yeah, you gotta get together now. You gotta get together now. Oh.
Yes. That's Beyond Big Mountain Band. And so, we're listening to their music. Let's get together. And in this time, we all need to get together because we need to shed some love around each other, right? And so, this evening, we have to, talk about a number of things as my guests join me, and I'll tell you who they are a little from now. I want to start a conversation. We are in such interesting times, and a lot of crazy things are happening, and a lot of good things are happening, and we have to be happy and we have to praise each other and love each other. We know this month a number of things are being celebrated, but for now we're focusing on cancer, especially breast cancer. But before I go into all of that conversation, and I see one of my guests joining in, we are living in extremely interesting times, I've said before. And I'm listening to the narrative around the vaccine. And for this week, I listened to a number of narratives. As I told someone on Monday, I am not really listening to a lot of the narratives to make up my mind about anything. And 3/4 of what is going around, I'm not listening to them anyway because it's somebody's opinion about something. But my conversation that I'm looking at this evening, point I'm looking at it from is that we are being encouraged to take the vaccine that we can create herd immunity. And so I kind of laugh a little bit. I'm encouraging persons, if you know you need to take the vaccine, taking. I'm not taking anybody to take it or not take it. That's a personal choice. And we know the country wants us to take it, that we can create this herd immunity. But one of the questions I'm saying, we are encouraged to take it, so they want most of us to take it to protect most of us and the rest of us. So some of us are now saying, okay, if I take it and I'm going to protect everybody else, how does that work? And my question is, I am hearing that you have to take a booster so quickly after another booster. So I'm not sure how protected we are going to be from even taking the vaccine. But guess what? If it helps us to reduce the opportunity of catching the virus, or if it helps us to get better quickly if we do catch it, do your best. But my thing is, the best bet to fight any form of illness or to protect ourselves is to get our body soldiers working. And what is our body soldier? Our immune system, right? So we know our immune system. We need to build our immune system to protect us from everything and anything, not only COVID, from everything else, including how we reverse some of the illnesses that we are now facing, cancer included, right? And so this evening, my guests and I, we are going to have a conversation. We're not giving you any directive. We're giving you a conversation for your own wellness. And I can tell you, I am a testimony of what we'll be talking about this evening. And I am quite sure that my guests will tell you their stories as well. And so this evening, I have on as my guests two awesome eye partners. They are Miss Tanya Abreu and Dr. Albert Rodriguez. I'm not going to tell you anything at all about them. They are going to tell you the pieces they want you to know about themselves. Fair enough. So I want to say good evening, ladies. How are you?
Good evening, Dr. Asha.
Hi, Dr. Asha.
It's so good to have you ladies joining with me. And can I tell you, listeners, time differences on all of these things sometimes get things crazy. And so my guests, they're coming from wherever they are. One is in her car and something else. Because we got all our time difference mixed up.
I'm 15
ahead,
minutes away, Dr. Asha, from my home, maybe 10. But the first thing I want to say to all viewers tonight is about me. Besides being about 34 years a healthcare advocate, it's with a specialty in women's health, I can never get time zones correctly. And this hour between Jamaica and the US is going to kill me. So the second thing I want to say is you just can't sweat the small stuff. We're living in a digital world where Asha can say, hey, it's time to get on. And I can say, oh my goodness, Asha, I'm picking up a birthday cake at the Publix, but I'll be right on. And so, good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to be on this show. I'm also a late stage cancer survivor of about 10 years ago now. So it is a big topic for me. So thank you for welcoming me and having me.
Okay, and that was Tanya. So now we'll hear a little from Dr. Alba, as we call her. Hi, Dr. Alba. How are you?
Hello, I am wonderful. Sadly, I'm a victim to Tanya's time issues. I apologize for being late, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much. Just a little bit on my background. I got a PhD here at the University of South Florida in Florida, which is where I'm talking to you from. And it was in psychology, but with a focus on cognitive and neurosciences. And much of my research was on ways to prevent and treat diseases aging, like neurodegenerative diseases, dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, those types of things. And then I went on to do a postgraduate work, a fellowship at Henry Ford Health System, which is a major health system in Michigan. And again, doing research in not only preclinical research with animals and cells to treat different types of diseases, but also clinical research, including a study on acupuncture for the treatment of breast cancer, and also other studies, and how can we help support people in their healing? So what are the types of natural things that can help people, help them heal themselves? So those are some of the things I've been working on over the past couple of decades.
Awesome. So I am talking to two lovely ladies this evening who have spent most of their lifetime trying to help others to heal one way or another. And so therefore, I know we're going to have an awesome conversation this evening. And of course, we are going to be looking at how we use nature as our pharmacy with a specific eye on using muscadine as our food and our medicine, right? And so it's awesome. Some of you might remember Tanya from when she was on sometime earlier. And so it was interesting. She was in Jamaica and She was online and we had a good conversation. And when I did put out the flyer, somebody sent me a message. Is the same lady that did come with the music people? I said, yes, that very same lady. And so the person said, I'll be listening in, I'll be telling my friends because I want to know more. And then I also got some calls from some persons who apparently used to use muscadine in Jamaica some time back in the past. And so they said, really, we want to hear more. And so here we are this evening hearing more. Right. So I'm going to throw my conversation pieces out, and any one of you ladies can you decide among yourselves how you feel the conversation as we move forward. So we are looking at cancer in general, and a lot. It is no rocket science to say that using nature to heal any illness within the body is the best bet to reverse. Because in natural science, we don't say we heal, we say we reverse illnesses and we regain and we allow the body to heal itself. So between Dr. Alba and you, Sister Tanya, tell us a little bit about first, in general, what about Tanya? You said you recovered from cancer and you had to do some stuff to recover. And what you know now and what you knew then, and with nature as our healer, what are our feedbacks? And then, of course, we'll branch right into what muscadine does. Come on, ladies, let's conversate.
Tanya, we can't hear you.
Unmute, Tanya.
I'm happy to start this because I'm not a scientist, and I'm not a healthcare provider, but I've worked at hospitals and closely with physicians professionally for 30 plus years, and then in my own healing journey from uterine cancer all the way to just very aggressive diabetes, and having the good fortune to work with regular physicians who also were supportive of nature being a part of my journey. When I think back to cancer, and it's going to be interesting because Dr. Alba has a really an interesting professional background. She not only is a researcher around antioxidants and how various biochemicals affect cancer cells, but she also has a practice of stress management and how stress management can resolve pain and also, in many instances, help as we try to heal from cancer. Because one of the things we do know is that almost all diseases, including cancer, have very strong roots in stress, in unbalanced lives, not necessarily unhappy lives, because lots of people who get cancer are at the top of their game and they're doing great, but it does have more to do with being unbalanced. And I just read an article and it made a whole lot of sense. Also, and it's a cellular inflammation, right? A lot of the science is saying, when you're stressed, your whole body gets inflamed, you get out of balance, your inflammation is not checked by healthy cells, and as a matter of fact, those cells then are more open to attack. Not attack in the way of like something's going to enter your body and attack it, but with cancer, it actually, there's atypical cells all the time in our bodies, all the time. Atypical, meaning not a normal cell. Those atypical cells are the ones that kind of, morph into something that's called cancer and then is staged. And so it's an evolution to get to cancer. And the earlier that we can stop the cycle of stress and oxidation in our bodies, the more we can prevent cancer. And I wish I would have known that 12 years ago when I started, when the doctor 15 years ago started to find atypical cells in my uterus. I did nothing. I did not do, a new nutrition therapy. But I'll tell you, when I was given 6 months to live, all I ate was antioxidants, fruits, vegetables, wheatgrass, no sugar, no carbs, nothing complex, just basic nature's medicine. And muscadine, of which we all are very familiar with, is the easiest way to get the most amount of oxidants in a single capsule or in a single juice or eyedropper full. It is just a hugely powerful antioxidant. And so I'm going to now go to my friend and my inspiration and somebody who's helped me over the past 3 years get healthier by just understanding the role of stress in my life, as
Yes.
well as what cellular degeneration can cause. And that's dear Dr. Alba.
Yes, yes,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Alma. Let's hear it from you.
Yes, I have to agree with Tanya as far as what this, what the research shows is that most aging and diseases of aging and disease are directly or indirectly related to stress in one way or another. And one of these things is that stress produces is oxidative stress. And that's when we're, like Tanya said, out of balance, when our uh, free radicals, which are the oxidative molecules in our body, cannot be handled by the antioxidants. So they're out of balance. Too much free radicals, not enough antioxidants. And then when you're out of balance, that's when the cells are damaged. Those free radicals, they attack the cells basically. They have unstable electrons. So usually they have a little orbit of electrons. We all heard proton, neutrons, and electrons and atoms. These particular free radicals are missing an electron, so they're unstable, and they run around grabbing the electrons from other healthy molecules, healthy parts of the body, and they wreak this havoc. It's basically a vicious cycle of oxidative stress and inflammation, and that's where if you look at kind of universal theories of aging and disease, it's that oxidative inflammation cycle. And there's a lot of ways to address that. One of them is by learning how to not just manage, but how to intervene at the level of that stress response. How can you stop being stressed out by things that you don't need to be stressed about? Like two people can be experiencing the same circumstance, and it's not the circumstance. The circumstance is a stressor, but how you react, how your body and how you as an organism react to that stressor, is what makes all the difference. And we can support our bodies and help our bodies have the necessary tools to fight against these things and to stay healthy by providing our bodies what it needs, like nutritionally, as we said, healthy foods, whole foods made by God, not in the lab.
Yes.
And also, if you're not getting enough antioxidants, which especially in times of stress, our demand for those antioxidants increases, well, then maybe you may want to supplement. So something like Tanya was saying with the muscadine grapes, they do have an immensely high level of antioxidants, which is wonderful. And there's been a lot of research studies on antioxidants and all kinds of diseases, but especially muscadine in cancer. There have been quite a number of studies going on, and there's some currently going on.
Yes. I'm very, very interesting. Yes, Tanya, I see your mouth moving.
I would invite people to muscadine is spelled Muscadine, and I would invite people to just Google muscadine and cancer cells. And what will come up is a couple of research trials, but one in particular from Wake Forest University that shows in human experiments, not just lab rats. We all love mice and rats, and we want to cure them of cancer, but these were actual people. It started out with prostate cancer, and evidently prostate cancer cells are killed at a very rapid rate by the muscadine, by the polyphenols in muscadine. The biochemicals will kill cancer cells. So right now, the National Institutes of Health in the United States have a stage 1 prostate cancer trial. So if you're a man with early or asymptomatic prostate cancer, you are put on a regime of liquid muscadine extract. That's a powerful statement. But there's also amazing research if you put in muscadine and breast cancer and
Mm-hmm.
racial issues. There was a trial with muscadine for women with black women with breast cancer and a certain genetic that often is very aggressive, and how muscadine was really, really, really a complementary therapy in their treatment by killing the cancer cells. So for me, it's about prevention. But once I had cancer, it was all about how do I get my body back to balance? How do I get my cells back to stasis? I think is the fancy scientific word.
Yes.
Um, and really antioxidant.
Homeostasis. Yes,
Okay.
Homeostasis,
homeostasis.
yeah.
The word for the day, homeostasis. And it just means balance.
I
I
like
have
that,
my
Dr.
I
Alma.
have
This
my
is
kids in
great.
the car. I should have one of them try to spell it.
Yes, there you go.
Yes. So it's true. We need to get when your balance, the homeostasis mean the body is balanced and all of everything is kind of working together in tandem and feeling good together. And Tanya, when you talk about the research and how it impacts Black women, I was looking at that research and I find it very interesting because what it says is this aggressive form. I don't remember the name of it. Maybe Dr.
The
Alba will
triple
maybe.
triple negative breast cancer.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Alba. So it says that it's aggressive, but what they find that the muscadine is really, really quick at getting to these cells and overcoming them and destroying them to reverse the illness in the body. And for me, that is really, really awesome. And when you talk about the research that they are doing, and I look at the anecdotal responses that I am getting from some clients that I now have on muscadine. I see even recently I got a young lady who was in severe pain. She had cervical cancer and she was in severe pain. And I gave her the muscadine. She was using some other natural stuff, but she was still in pain. And I gave it to her. And within days, when I checked in on her, she was saying the pain wasn't completely gone, but it was remarkably reduced. And when I spoke with her today, because I'm coming on, I wanted a feedback. She's saying she feels so much better. She's up and about a little bit, and she's also not feeling so much pain, which is really, really an awesome thing to hear. So it goes to show that the muscadine itself works pretty quickly. And as I say to her, take the capsules, you can open it, put it in your juices, if you don't feel like eating and you're going to do juices, you just open it, put it in your juices, put it over your salad. You can use it in so many different ways. And I'm so sorry I didn't have the liquid. We don't have the liquid here in Jamaica to give her now. But she's being creative with the capsules and she's having marvelous results. And she's one of 4 persons that I'm working with cancer that is using the muscadine, but she's the newest person come on. So I wanted to get the report from her. Just start using it. Are you feeling any different right off the bat? And she could say within days, she could see a marked difference in how her body is responding in before and how it's responding now that she is using the muscadine. So we know it is working. It is impacting lives. So ladies, give us some more.
Can I ask Dr. Alba, can you talk about, because I just learned that a very close friend of mine has a recurrence of gynecological cancer. And it's a very conservative friend. And so instead of my even remotely suggesting that the antioxidant power of muscadine grapes could reverse or kill cancer cells, I talked to her about the energizing systemic
Yes.
power of muscadine to just put you in a better frame of mind,
True.
adapt
Yes.
you to stress. And so, Dr. Alba, I know you talk about adaptogens and how they work and how they help us, because when you get that diagnosis of cancer, you spiral out. I mean, I don't
Yes.
care how zen you are, it's a spiral. So, how could muscadine help just people that are going through cancer treatment right now?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is it's not just I mean, you want to prevent these situations, prevent cancer as much as you can. But if you are in that situation and you're going through treatment, I mean, like Tanya said, just the diagnosis is enough to stress anybody out, right? Just hearing that word, the C word, they call it, just hearing that. So as an organism, you're going to thrive and successfully overcome things when you are balanced, when you have the right nutrition, when you have the right stress management. Because if you're overwhelmed by stress, then that right there decreases your immunity. That decreases your body's ability to fight against invaders, or whether it's a virus or whether it's atypical cells that have become breast cancer or any other type of cancer. So really, that's important. Is all of this comes down to how you can successfully adapt to the stressors in your life. And cancer is a huge stressor. And one of the things that there are many examples of in foods and in other things are adaptogens. Those are things that help your body adapt to those stressors. And it also happens to be that the myriad of polyphenols and different things in grapes in general, but specifically in high quantities in the muscadine grape, also work as adaptogens to help your body successfully adapt to these stressors in your life. So, there's a lot of foods, there's a lot of herbs that can help with that. But this is definitely one really good example that works very well and that has a lot of research behind it. So for support during chemo, radiation, it does help protect the body against radiation, because even if you're just in an airplane, you get radiation, and radiation affects your body. It produces free radicals. Those free radicals cause DNA fragmentation, which is also, the cancer cells or cells whose DNA is just not right anymore. So all of those things can help to support you if you are undergoing cancer therapy. Like I'm friends with an oncologist up in Michigan who actually did a study with us for women who had undergone breast cancer treatment, and now we're having hot flashes, because that's one of the big side effects. That once you've completed breast cancer treatment, there's a lot of side effects. And they were giving women a drug called venlafaxine for this, but that had its own side effects. So you're trying to treat the hot flashes, but then you're getting more side effects. So we did a study back in 2009, published in the Journal of Clinical Oncology, about how other natural things like acupuncture was actually just as effective as venlafaxine, except it didn't have any of those bad side effects. The side effects that people were reporting was, oh, I've got a better sex drive, I'm sleeping better, I'm which are the kind of side effects you want, right? So, so we want to support our bodies in whatever way we can, whether it's muscadine, whether it's healthy foods, whether it's acupuncture, if that's something that's available to you. Look, be your own researcher. And I know we don't all have mega researching skills, but nowadays you can go right to pubmed.gov, PUBMED.gov, and you can look up muscadine and cancer. You can look up, acupuncture and cancer. You can look up, adaptogens. You can look up these things, and usually in the abstract, it'll give you a nice summary of it, which will at least give you some ideas. So when somebody tells you, oh, you got to do this or you got to do that, look it up for yourself. I encourage you. Be your own researcher, be your own advocate.
And I just want to say this, because I had an at-length conversation with my friend that has this recurrence after 7 years. She can't eat during chemo. She's very sick, and she has a really hard time eating anything. And her oncologist, and this I will maintain publicly against any oncologist who recommends eat whatever you want, eat milkshakes, eat chocolate, do whatever you want. All you need to do is look at any of the extensive research on glucose and sugar and cancer, right? It's over and over again shown that if you put sugar in a petri dish with cancer, it grows much more rapidly. And if you put cancer cells in with antioxidants, it actually begins
You
to
reverse.
decrease.
Mm-hmm.
This is not rocket science, guys. And I really get very frustrated with oncologists who use chemo as their primary way to for instead of lifestyle. Chemo is an adjunctive therapy, in my opinion, as is radiation, to changing your
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle to make it inhospitable to cancer. And
Yes.
that includes getting rid of the sugar, getting rid of the complex carbs. And if you can't eat, learn to drink a carrot juice, learn to drink an apple juice, and certainly learn to do a grape juice, or just to take antioxidants in a liquid format, so that if you're not eating enough, at least you're getting nutrition that helps your your cells be healthy. I had to say that, Dr. Asha, because I know a lot of people with cancer say, I'll just eat chocolate or I'll eat something just for the calories so I don't lose any more weight. Yeah, just not the way to go.
And Tanya, I'm glad you bring that up, because as I say to my clients and I say to anyone who is listening this evening, and I want to shout out to all my listeners internationally and locally in the Caribbean, in Europe, and in Africa, all of you, I want to say to you this evening, listen carefully. Any illness, and not only cancer, but any illness your body is experiencing, for you to have a long-term, holistic, non-side effect recovery and reversal of that illness, lifestyle must be changed. It's as simple as that.
And it
And
can
lifestyle
start with
takes in
sleep.
everything. What
Sleep.
did you say, Tanya?
I said it can start with sleep. I don't
Yes.
I just don't understand. People say, when they have cancer, and I remember the worry and the anxiety, you can't sleep. Things like, we are all muscadine advocates. Muscadine helps you regain your sleep patterns.
Yes.
There are other things, CBD, um, the
Going out into the sun, getting vitamin D.
yes, and then there are natural herbs, things like,
Mhm.
oh man, in Jamaica there are so many sleepy time
Yes.
things, right? Remedies to get kids to calm down and get them to go to bed. Those are the things we need to be focused on. and
Yes.
and also just to find, as Dr. Alba's life work really testifies to, reduce the stress, get the sleep, stop the inflammation. And I'm talking about the metaphor of inflammation, right? It's when you're angry, when you're upset, when you're scared, your whole body is on fire. It's inflamed.
Yes.
And when you have trauma like cancer or any other chronic disease or an abusive relationship, I'm just going down the list, that inflammation doesn't go away. And that's
No.
ultimately what causes the kind of diseases that cause early death in us and our family.
And the
Yes.
importance of sleep is just can't be underestimated. I was reading a study the other day that just one night of poor sleep increases anxiety levels, like doubles
Yes.
anxiety levels. One night. So imagine people who are chronically not sleeping. That's also suppressing your immune system, suppressing your body's own natural ability to heal, because we are designed to heal ourselves, right? It's
Yes.
just that we get in the way by eating the wrong things, not
Mhm.
sleeping, stressing about everything. So we got to get out of our own way and give our bodies the tools it needs, the fuel it needs, the antioxidants, the sleep, all of the things it needs, because it knows what to do. We just got to give it those tools.
That is so true, Dr. Alba. Because a lot of times persons, and even sleeping in the right environment, making sure you're in a dark place, you're not listening to
Yes.
any music, you don't have the TV playing, giving you flashing lights, that the
Mhm.
body can really go to sleep and rest and rejuvenate, and the brain cells can heal. And in my studies, it has proven that if you go to bed between 10 and 2 o'clock, and you get a good night rest and give the brain enough time to heal and the body to heal. Don't go to bed with a full stomach that you're working right during the time you're sleeping anyway. So your body got up really tired, so you don't feel rested. It's very important. even just the way you sleep and how you sleep, even how you're dressed to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Will
Yeah,
make
those
you
are all
comfortable.
crucial things. And that's when, as we all know, that's when your body does the majority of its healing, of its repair.
Yes.
So imagine if you took your car to a mechanic because it was all messed up, and he said, it's going to take me 2 weeks to fix it. And you say, okay, I'll give you an hour a day. It's never going to happen, right?
Never gonna
He's
happen.
got to have that car to fix it, or she has to have that car. And so if we're not getting the sleep, it's like, oh, we're just going to give you an hour a day to repair, an hour a day, but you need your good 8.5 hours, depending on the person. I like 9 or 10 if I can get them.
But I'll tell you, that's a really nice analogy, Dr. Alba and Dr. Asha, and that is repair, because
Mhm.
that's what cancer cures are about. Okay, guys?
Mhm.
We think it's about killing all the cancer cells and nuking them and cutting them out. But listen, the cells that you leave behind have to be proliferative. They have to be
Yes.
rich. They have to be healthy. And they have to take over the abnormal cellular activity that's occurring, right?
Mhm.
So we know that chemotherapy just kills all these cells, including some of the good ones.
Yes.
And that's, for some cancers, I maintain that that kind of systemic cleansing and killing is important. But if you're not at the same time preparing the cells left behind for rapid new growth and health, then you're not going to survive. So just
That is
just
true.
relying on chemo, radiation, and surgery is silly.
Well,
It
and the other thing is, if you are having chemo radiation, antioxidants protect your healthy cells, your non-cancerous cells, from
Yes.
that, so that not as many of them are dying in the process. Because like Tanya said, it's indiscriminate. It kind of kills a whole bunch of cells along with the cancer cells. So you want to protect your good cells, your healthy cells, during that process. And this oncologist, Dr. Walker, that I know in Michigan. She was one of the few doctors that I knew of, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, that was saying, hey, antioxidants are important. If you're going through radiation, chemotherapy, make sure you're getting antioxidants. And so, a lot of that, she was like a pioneer in that area, because back then people weren't saying that. And now more and more doctors, I think, are getting more familiar with that. But if your doctor's not familiar with it, like I said, go to PubMed, get a nice review article, and hand it to your doctor, and
Yes.
say, hey, look, all the research I've seen shows the importance of antioxidants. Would you take a look at this and, talk to them about it?
Yeah.
And that is so important, because I have a client and she's just using the muscadine 2 months now, and she's recovering from cancer and she's doing chemotherapy. And she's saying since she started to use the muscadine grape and the lifestyle changes I've recommended for her, because it's a holistic package, you have to do everything. And since she started to do that, even her hair is growing back.
Mm,
Antioxidants are working. The pain is going away. She's not using pain meds anymore, which is awesome. And she said normally before she started to use the muscadine and the holistic lifestyle patterns that I've given to her, she used to, by the time she started to feel better, it's time to go and do the chemo again. And so she's always not feeling well, because after the chemo, she's depleted. And by the time she's feeling herself again, it's another time to go back. And so she keeps on dreading it. Now she's using the protective, as Dr. Alba brings out, the protective medicine from nature to protect the good cells and also help her body to rejuvenate quicker with antioxidants. She's able to bounce back much quicker after a chemo session, and she has better days going into the next chemo session, because her body is now prepared and ready to fight. And so she's losing less good cells as the process go along, and it is helping the bad cells also to reverse. Because the good thing about nature is that when you use it to take care of the cells, it doesn't destroy any of the good cells. It only works on the bad cells.
and
So that's
I want to just make sure I tell this story.
Yes.
When I was facing cancer, I didn't do chemotherapy. Instead, I did targeted chemical. I did do tamoxifen. I shut down all of my hormones because hormones stimulate cells, right? That's what they do. And so if you shut down your estrogen and you shut down your progesterone, cells are kind of old and lazy. But during that time, there was incredible research, and the American Cancer Association supports this, that if you're undergoing chemo, you can do mega doses of vitamin C. And there's a whole world that vitamin C is one of the best known antioxidants, and
Yes.
a whole body of literature that talks about cancer regression and vitamin C. But all of the cancer organizations, the most conservative ones in the US, said, you know what? It seems to work, and it seems to take away the nausea, and people aren't as sick and they don't get as much hair loss if they take vitamin C as an antioxidant simultaneously. I think the best future and the best oncologist would be if you were getting chemo this one week, the next week you would get IV antioxidants, right? Um, and there are lots of doctors that do even support that. Glutathione is the a precursor to all antioxidants made and utilized in the body. But in the meantime, something that's a supplement that is easily digested, like our grapes, which is like 100% nothing but grape seeds and skins, just to be able to keep that in your body 24 hours a day, not just while God forbid, you're facing cancer right now, or you're trying to prevent a reoccurrence or to prevent it at all. The more you can have antioxidants just balanced and flowing in your blood, the better your overall health and lessen your risk for things like cancer or other chronic disease.
Awesome. That is so, so true. And so, Dr. Alba, there's when you think about the balancing of the system, the hormone balancing, using antioxidants and building your immunity, I know going to nature, straight to nature, is one of the best things to do. And I'm seeing research is coming out telling us the benefits of using the muscadine. And so, what can you tell us along that line?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the last part. So what is your question? Say the question part
Okay,
again.
so we're looking a little bit now at balancing the system, using antioxidants, building our immunity. So you're looking at prevention while you're looking at treatment and reversal and cure. How would you tell us about that, along with just using nature and muscadine as part of that process?
Well, one of the things that you said yourself, and that I think is key, is that anytime you are dealing with any kind of chronic illness, and even if you're not, if you want to prevent it, I think that the key is that it's got to be a holistic approach. You don't just, I'm just going to pop these vitamins or these antioxidants and that's all I need, right? That it's not just take muscadine all day long and smoke cigarettes and, have a stressful lifestyle and don't sleep. And, no, this is a holistic approach. You have to provide all of the things that your body needs, not just, the great thing about muscadine, it's got a lot of things that your body can use. It's an antioxidant, it's an anti-inflammatory, it helps with circulation. And these are just, based on the research. And that's great. And so any other things you can find like that will help you sleep better, and like Dr. Asha said, that's also sleep hygiene, doing those things that will, don't be looking at your cell phone at 1:00 in the morning because it's not going to let you sleep, right? All of those things. You really want to do as many things as you can to change your entire life. Because if you've already got cancer, or if you've got another chronic illness, guess what? It took you however many years you've been alive to get into that situation, and you got there doing whatever it is you've been doing, right? So you've got to make a drastic change, and that includes all aspects of your life. Eating healthy, sleeping, de-stressing, moving,
Relationships.
relationships. Yeah. Movement is important. My partner, Dr. Nunez, he says the one thing that all dead things have in common is what? They don't move. We got to move, and so that's also important
Okay,
for
so ladies,
continuing.
ladies, before we go further, one of our listeners is asking, muscadine in particular, does it help with anxiety and depression? I don't want to answer. I want you ladies to answer this one because it makes me excited to get questions like these. Nature, muscadine, anxiety, depression. What says you ladies?
Well, I'll just tell you, based on some of the effects that it has as far as helping you to sleep better, right there, if you're sleeping better, guess what? Anxiety is going to go down, right?
Yes.
And again, not just the muscadine, you want to add the other things to it, but
Yeah.
yeah, so that's one thing. Depression, um, depression goes along with that lack of sleep. A friend of mine was just telling me the other day how she was feeling down, and then it's because she hadn't slept well in days. And I won't mention her name, but some of us know her, and just all of that works together. So yes, that along with other things that you want to do, to address all those issues in your life.
And
Yes.
I just want to say as well that a lot of the research shows that muscadine in particular, or grapes in particular, have what they call a venous sufficiency effect, which means that the veins and arteries are opened more. And one of the things that I know about depression and anxiety is that when you're experiencing those emotions, they become physical constrictors, all right? Which means the veins and the arteries constrict. They're
Yes.
stressed. There's less blood flow to the brain, which causes the brain to panic even more and to give you this feeling of, well, yeah, my head's saying the world is ending, my emotions are, so it definitely is. And it becomes just really a migraine. It becomes those types of physical constrictions. And I know that Dr. Alba talks a lot about how we hold our muscles, how we hold everything. Our body, we don't even have to do it. When we tell our body that we're panicked, it automatically does it. And one of the things about muscadine is that it's a dilator of the veins and the arteries, which help us relax. It helps us remember better. It helps us put things in perspective. It's like, not that I have much experience with getting high and back in the day, but it's those kinds of feelings of, oh my gosh, all that stuff that I thought was a hassle really isn't. And
Yes.
that's a really cool effect when you get enough blood to every organ of the body.
And that is so true because when you use muscadine and other things from nature, what it does is it increases your hormones. It helps the body to balance better, and the chemical hormones, the chemical in your brains and everything is start to work properly. And when that starts to happen, your desire to become anxious over anything tend to decrease, and you have all the right hormones being released, the happy hormones as we call them, dopamine working properly, and everything balancing out. Anxiety goes, and when anxiety goes down, depression tend to go away. And as you said, Tanya, you start to have the hormone balance in your system. So therefore, you start to see the world in a more realistic way instead of listening to your mind telling you that everything is going out of whack and everything is going to go crazy. Because the body itself, when it becomes fearful, will tell you that the world is coming to an end, for argument's sake. But when you have a balanced system working, good mental faculties, and adding somebody to talk to, depression can be managed, anxiety can be managed and overcome. And as you said, Tanya, it's really true. When you use muscadine, it tends to give you a feeling of, oh, I can face the world. I don't know, maybe that's what ganja does to some people, But this one is when you use this, no smoking, no nothing, and it balances everything else, and it don't damage anything else. So smoking will damage the lungs even if you feel a little high, and you're gonna come down. But when you start to treat your body right, and eventually your body get used to this good treatment, it balances out and it have a good
And I
homeostasis.
will
A
tell
word for today.
because we are, really distributing a lot of muscadine in Jamaica, and that's growing, and we're registering the company, and it's very exciting. But I have a lot of musicians. I do reggae promotion and production, and I worked with a lot of musicians in Jamaica and around the world that really do rely on ganja for relaxation and inspiration. And one of the things that I can tell you, working with a group of 7 musicians who all took nice doses, maybe 6 to 8 capsules a day, one of the common responses were, "Where's the muscadine? Because I don't have time to go outside and smoke, and it helps me." And these are from hardcore smokers that's all
Yeah.
they rely on. And that to me was, not that I have anything against that, but there's lungs and smoke, and not to mention the expense of it. So it was really cool for me to see a whole lot of musicians say, I smoke a whole lot less, I drink a whole lot less Guinness than when I'm on muscadine, and that's
Yes.
cool, really cool.
It's really cool. And I remember when we were in Kingston, and I'm not going to call names now, but I remember one of the guys who said, "Oh, I had a bad lifestyle last night, Tanya. I took your advice and I took 5 muscadine capsules one time, and I'm feeling so good. My lungs is working. I can sing, and I'm on top of the world." And so I am saying, if someone who is not treating their body as they should, and you're getting such good effects, imagine for the rest of us if we start to doing what is right and then support with our supplements of muscadine. Imagine what can happen in our lives, because away from cancer, muscadine helps. It has to do with your heart health. I'm going to try to use the simple words, and you leave Dr. Albert to use the big words, because she know how to pronounce big words better than I do. And it gives you environmental protection. So going to nature as your pharmacist, and the good thing about muscadine and other things, carrots, you name it, from nature, is there are no side effects. You eat it and it makes you well. So you don't have to go look for something different. You don't have to treat the side effects. So when you eat a carrot, there's no side effect that you go have to eat an orange to correct, as it were. I remember I met a lady once. We were on a retreat and we're at this hotel, and we came down to have breakfast. And you all come with your little bag with your little little toiletries and stuff in your bag. But she took when after we finished eating, she took her bag, she put it on the table, and as she started taking one bottle after the other out. And I looked at her, and then she took one pill here, and then she took two there. And I couldn't help myself. I had to say, you own a pharmacy or something, man. In Monica Jamaican language, for her not to be offended, and she said, "Oh no, this is what I'm taking for this, and that's the original illness. And then no, because of the side effects of the medication, she have to take that for that and that for that." And so she keep treating side effects.
Yeah.
I said to her, I had not met muscadine at the time as yet. However, I said to her, what if I give you a way to reverse, start at the last one you're taking and reverse until you get back to the first one, until you have no need of the first one? What do you think about it? And she said, very interesting. How could that work? Because I wouldn't let mind forgetting this pharmacy bag I'm walking around with. And she became my client. And I think she was my first client after my recovery from cancer. She was my first client. And she is 76 this year. And I'm telling you, that girl she stick to it better than I did. And she is slim, trim, and happy. She just got married last week,
Wow.
again at 76. And she said to me, and I kid you not, her response when I said to her, "So how are things?" And she said, "I don't know. People my age said they're marrying for companionship. I married for a little more than that." And I said to her, what are you talking about? And she said, oh, well, the bedroom was steamy last night. And she is 76. I introduced her to the muscadine, and she's now using it. And she said, may God help that man if him don't take it too. And so she has got stock up on muscadine, not for herself alone, but for that man as well.
Oh, that's a wonderful story.
And she's 76 years old.
Wow.
And she's steaming up bedrooms.
We like to say, how about not just getting older, but getting better?
Yes,
how about if 5 years from now you can be better?
It's true. So she's not about getting older. She's about getting better, because she is really getting better. She moved away from walking with her pharmacy in her handbag to just going to nature, using what nature provides, and having not only a long life, but a quality life. And that's what matters. She has quality life. This woman got married last week. She's 76. Come on. And she doesn't do it only for companionship.
That's wonderful.
That's wonderful.
For me,
well,
I
apologize that I'm driving. I'm still on, and I have it in a little stand, but I am driving to get ready for another podcast. But this is far too interesting to leave.
And funny enough, when I leave studio, I'm getting home from that podcast too. We do live busy lives when we use muscadine.
yeah, it's endless energy, and to me, it's about spreading. I mean, we're talking about cancer in this particular broadcast, but it's really about spreading the knowledge that taking care of your body on the cellular level, by eating right and including, really, especially in today's craziness, much more antioxidants that you can eat out of the ground, so to speak.
Yes.
It prevents cancer, it augments your therapy, and then it helps you to survive stronger after you've been cleared of cancer. So to me, it's a great message.
Stronger. Yes, it is so true. Because to be honest, what I like about muscadine is, even though you're going to nature for your food, sometimes because our ground is depleted, the food are not being properly taken care of. Sometimes they don't have the full amount of antioxidant that you really need, and so a supplement is necessary. And for me, the muscadine supplement has a good backup in that you sleep better. It helps, so it enhances a good lifestyle. So if you are transitioning and you're going into this healthy lifestyle, you're using your animal protein, and you're taking natural protein in, you're eating your carrots, you're eating your juices. And for me, carrot is one of those good things that I like as well, for antioxidants and for the cells in when you're working on cancer. Really good with cancer.
Beta carotene is the
a good beta carotene is really good in supporting us. And so when you're doing that, just Dr. Alba, I'm going to let you know, tell us, just from a cellular level, dealing with reversing our stress component, building our immune system, balancing our hormone from nature and with muscadine, the impact it does have on cells, cancer cells, and other cells in our system, getting well, being well, staying well, walking well, living well, better quality of life. Talk to us.
I'm assuming you're directing that question at me because nobody else is saying anything. Unfortunately, my internet is cutting out, and I did not understand but about 10% of that.
So we're asking you to just talk to us about the benefits of eating from nature in balancing our hormones, or at a cellular level, balancing our immune system, and staying well and becoming better, not necessarily thinking about older, but better.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not hearing you. It's cutting in and out. So maybe, Tanya, you can answer something, because I apologize.
I can just tell you that Dr. Alba has an amazing research study on the effects of antioxidants, in particular grapeseed, and well, resveratrol, which is one of
Yes.
the main components of grapes, and its effect
This
on
is I
brain.
wanted her to tell us about, but she's not hearing me.
Yeah, its effect on brain cells, right? And its effect on, well, of course, it killed cancer cells in the brain, but it also just makes you healthier. It also reverses Alzheimer's. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's not magic. It's nature's science. It's nature's miracle. It is fabulous. And the things I've learned from both scientists like Dr. Alba and mental health people like yourself, as well as naturopaths like yourself, is that nature's medicine cabinet is safe, it's strong, and in the end, it makes you feeling better than when before you were sick. So, I mean, I think that's kind of the message that I've learned from Alba, I've learned from you, and I've certainly learned from my own battles, and my own use of food to heal myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So very true. Dr. Alba, are you hearing us now?
Yeah, I heard what Tanya said. She was on track. She was all there.
I thought,
That's
but
good.
you can go ahead and add to that.
Yeah, she was talking about the resveratrol study. See, that's an interesting. Resveratrol is what's in the skin of specifically red grapes, and
Yes.
it's we've all heard of the French paradox, how the French eat all kinds of stuff, but high fat diets and this and that, but they have very low heart disease. And part of the reason is because they drink a lot of red wine. And the resveratrol is interesting because it's found in muscadine grapes, not just in the skins, but also in the seeds, which other grapes don't have, which is really interesting. And so, yeah, that research study she was talking about was where we put resveratrol on brain cancer cells, human glioma cells, and we found that the resveratrol itself was able to kill those brain cancer cells in petri dishes. And but more interestingly, another study came out recently showing that the muscadine extract, the full extract, not just with the resveratrol, but all the combination of the still beans that are in there, the different compounds, was like 50 times more effective at killing those cancer cells than just the resveratrol alone, which shows us that it's not just a little tiny component. I think that's one of the ways we've gone astray, is that we look for the active ingredient, but it's not. What if it's not the active ingredient, one active ingredient, and we pull it out and we make a drug out of it? What if it's the
Right.
whole food, right?
Yes.
The whole grape, well, it has all the skin, all the seeds. And so we want to look at those things that are whole to make us whole as well. And hopefully that addressed part of your question.
Yes. Yes, and that is very true. And what I like about the food, even the muscadine itself, it doesn't just take a little part of it. It gives us almost everything. That way, whatever is there that we need to build our system, we get everything, right? And and that is very important in our healing, because the drugs that are made in the lab, these drugs, they just take something else and they add a lot of chemicals to them, which creates side effects to the body. But when you use the whole foods and you use it as your supplement, it becomes not only a healer, but it becomes your diet, it becomes a lifestyle, and it helps you to reverse illnesses. And as you talk about, Dr. Alvia talk about how it works on the cancer cells in the brain. I didn't have muscadine then, but I used a lot of grapes when I was recovering from brain cancer, because that's a cancer that I had. I had brain
Oh,
cancer. And I used a lot of grapes. I didn't even realize the benefits of it until later on, but I knew that I ate the grapes because when I use grapes, it makes me think better, even through the difficulties and the times and the pain. It helped me with remembering things, because it seems that the part of my brain that was affected is the seat of memory. And so it helps a lot. So now with the muscadine grape, which is a higher, you call it the king of grapes, and with some of the elements that is needed is found even in the seed itself, and not only just the skin. I imagine how much better, because to be honest, I'm using the muscadine now and I'm remembering things even better than I used to remember. So it really do work on the entire man, the entire body. And that is what is important about nature. When we use the food from the ground that grows in the ground, it works on every part of the body without leaving side effects. If we use the good foods from the ground, so we cut out all the sugars. I know I was talking to somebody recently and she told me, oh, but sugar cane grow from the ground. So I was saying to her, if you were just eating the sugar cane into the butter, not too bad, but you're eating the thing after they produce it and they refine it, and so it becomes common sugar that is not good for you anymore, no longer complex, so the body can work and break it down and get what it wants from it. But you're using refined sugars and all of that, which is damaging to the system. You're not just eating sugar cane. It's a difference, you know. So
Yeah.
even when we say we go to nature, we have to be mindful of the type of nature we go to and not the refined, washed out part of nature.
Even
Yes.
even grapes, like the big deal is seedless grapes, as if that's something wonderful. We
Oh,
know from research that the most nutrient dense part of things is that which is inside the seed. That's the all of the vitamins and nutrients and antioxidants to grow a whole new plant. And we take that all out of grapes and
for
watermelon.
me, even sometimes though all the grapes we can get here in Jamaica, most times something you can't get the grapes with seeds. I always say any food without seed is dead food.
It's dead food. It has no
Any
lifespan.
fruit that grows that normally would have had seed and there's no seed in it, that food is dead because it cannot reproduce. You can't plant anything and get back anything from it. You're not eating healthy food.
Yeah, we were just having that discussion a couple weeks ago. Exactly. I mean, they're even making avocados now without the pits in them. I'm like, well, how do you
Okay.
make like, you know? So,
Don't
so
tell
yeah,
me that. They're going to trouble the avocado too?
yeah, that's the newest thing now.
Oh
Seedless,
my,
without the pit in it. I
oh my goodness. What's wrong with us? I think a little knowledge with man can be really dangerous.
yes, yes.
Foods that are meant to have seeds
Or
should have
or you
seeds
go
if they
into
are
the
to be
grocery
healthy.
store and they've cut up your watermelon already. We know that oxidation takes place fast
No
and
nutrient is
you
left in
lose
that.
nutrients. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's just crazy. It's almost as if the whole system is designed to make us sick and then to charge us to get better. That's
Yes.
my political
I'm kind of,
statement. Sorry.
and I'm using a little bit Tanya, but it is really true. You see, this
Uh-oh.
microwave life that we live in, fast food life, fast microwave, want it to happen now. I work late and I want to go home and I don't want to peel any bananas. I want skinless bananas and featherless chicken and all of these crazy things is really causing us not to eat well. And that is one of the challenges we face now. Sometimes the very food we eat is what is causing us to have cancers and all of these sicknesses. Of course, nobody wants to hear that story, but it is the reality. So, ladies, I am going to thank you for joining with us this evening. Tanya, you're chipping in and out. Dr. Albo, are you
Yes,
hearing me? Okay, so I
yes.
think, okay, Tanya, yeah, Tanya is there. She's going in and out as well. She's trying to get home. And so I'm going to say
Yeah, I
I'm
can't
thanking you,
hear you.
ladies.
I can't hear you.
Okay. Because yes, I'm saying bye bye to you, ladies.
All
Thank
right.
you
Well,
for
thank
joining with
you.
me. And
Thank you.
of course, we'll continue to talk again. It was awesome having you on this evening. My listeners are excited to hear from you. We are getting messages. I will get the questions and I will fill them with you. And I will give my listeners some more information on this next week because the conversation around cancer continues next week and continue for the rest of the month. So, ladies, thank you for sitting down with me this evening for this conversation on cancer and from Nature's Pharmacy and muscadine grape. Walk good, stay blessed, and we will talk.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay,
Back
then, bye bye.
to
You gotta get together. Yeah. can make the mountains ring or make angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Yeah, come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some will come and some will go, and we shall surely pass. Oh, yeah. When the one that left us here returns for us at last. Oh, yeah, yeah. We are but a moment's alive, fading in the grass. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Hey, yeah. Oh, come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's try to love one another right now. I want to say hello to all my listeners this evening. It's so awesome having you on. And to to all my listeners on Facebook, Carrie Ann Gordon, thank you for joining. Keisha, Tanya Edwards, thank you for joining us. Thelma Gomez, ever faithful. Pauline Williams, good to have you this evening. And and Rose Griffiths, and for all the others that I might have missed and your messages earlier on, thank you for listening with us. Because listen to me, our health is our own responsibility and we must take it in charge. Yes, this month we are focusing on cancer. And so I'm going to throw out if anyone listening to me this evening and you are in Jamaica and you are recovering from breast cancer, it must be breast cancer, I have with me a bottle of muscadine for you. So you're going to send us a message, give us a call in next week. And when you call us in next week, send us a WhatsApp message, whichever method you want to use. And I'm going to tell you, this will be yours. So I'm going to give you the number again. Our WhatsApp number is 876-482-4944. That's for the studio. If you want to send me a direct message, it's 876-870-2284. I have the first person who contacts me who is recovering or going through breast cancer, and I have a bottle of muscadine for you. The only thing you will have to do afterwards is give me a testimonial of how you find it and how it assisted you in feeling and how it made you feel, if it made you feel any different, right? And so for this evening, we want to thank you for joining us. And before we go into our affirmation, we're going to transition just a little bit to the music again, and then I will give you your affirmation. So get ready for your affirmation.
Oh, make angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Yeah. You got a friend, ain't it good to know? Yeah, you got a friend when you're down and trouble, and you need a helping hand, and nothing is going right. Tell you what you do, baby. Close your eyes and think of me. Soon I will be there to brighten up even the darkest night. Just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh, yes, I will see you again. Oh, now, baby, winter, spring, summer, or fall.
Yes, yes, yes. You know, we are here. When you call, we will come and we will help you. But for this evening, I want you now to calm down, relax, listen to the affirmation, and apply it to your life as best as you can. So, time to stop looking at your challenges. Time to stop living from a place of self pity. It is time to stop comparing yourself to others. It is time to stop living like you are running a 100-meter race. Can I tell you, if there is a marathon with hurdles, that's what life is. And it is okay to run at your own pace in your own way. You even get to choose your lane. And oh, don't forget to always seek divine guidance. Today, I encourage you not to worry about the challenges. Those are the hurdles that is happening as you run your own race. If you allow the divine to provide you with guidance, you will get the grace to go over each hurdle as they come. And no problem if you knock a few hurdles down. You will still get through the race. Remember, you're not running against anyone else. You're running against who you were yesterday to become who you are today as you look forward to who you will become tomorrow. So run your race at your own pace, in your own lane, at your own time. And if needed, put on your blinkers and keep your focus because the race is already won if you make up your mind to be the winner you were born to be. That is goodbye this evening from Healing Moments on Fit FM 96.7. I am your host, Dr. Asha Mwendo, and you are listening to Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. Join me next week, same time, for another interesting evening. Walk good and stay blessed.